Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning back in Aaron Meets World. My name's Aaron, and I just returned yesterday from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So I just wanted to do a quick talk about some of my impressions. I'm not going to review any of the items that I ended up purchasing in this particular video, although I will do a quick rundown. I just wanted to do kind of a recap of my experience and what I thought really quickly, and then let you know what to expect over the next probably month or two in terms of content, because I picked up a lot of little knickknacks as well as some bigger items from Galaxy's Edge, and I will be doing coverage on all of them eventually. So first of all, my impressions of the park. I feel like they nailed it. The whole time that I was at Galaxy's Edge, I felt like this is a place that feels like was made for me. And even though it was more focused on the sequel trilogy than the other trilogies, I still really felt a connection to the place. And even though it was based on a location that hasn't been featured in any films, it was an original location, I really feel like it must have been made by people who really know their Star Wars and really love their Star Wars. So I know there's a group of people out there that feel like they really screwed up by not creating actual Star Wars locations from the films. I really feel like they nailed it. They nailed the feeling of it. And yeah, there's some things that could be improved upon. And yes, I would have enjoyed it more if it had been Tatooine or Coruscant or Endor or something like that, more focused, or even a group of places connected somehow. But what they did and how they make you feel like you're in world to the best of their ability, I feel like it's definitely worth going if you love Star Wars, unless you're really trying to find an excuse not to like it, which I know some people on the internet are predisposed to trying to find reasons to hate things. If you're not one of those people and you love Star Wars, you're gonna like going there. Now, with that said, a lot of the coolest experiences are intelligently set up by Disney so that you're having fun while you're spending lots of money. So like the building the lightsaber experience, building droids, stuff like that. You're going to be spending money to do those things, even going to the Cantina to reserve your spot to go there. You do have to, put on hold like $10 per person or whatever it was to have your reservation. And then you're going there, and actually some people there did that, and once you get in, it doesn't charge you. It only charges you if you're a no-show, and you could just order water for that particular instance. But I really enjoyed most of the experiences there. The Cantina was really fun to just stand in there. I ended up getting the blue milk, which I had tried it outside the Cantina once, and I liked it. And I tried the blue and green milk, and I liked the blue milk a lot better. But actually, I liked the blue milk from the Cantina better. It wasn't as chilled, and it was more of a milk texture. And I really liked it. I liked the flavor of it. It was one of my favorite drinks there. And then my wife ended up getting a drink. I forget the name of it. It was kind of a ginger ale-ish drink that came with a Porg collector's mug, which was actually really cool and really high quality. But all of the experiences there, aside from Smuggler's Run, were kind of built around getting you to spend money. And then some of them were more on the head, just shops, like the clothing shop, the Toydarian toy maker, the pet shop, I forget the name of it at the moment, where you can get the realistic Star Wars creatures. I ended up getting a Tauntaun, because I like Empire Strikes Back. And this guy will probably keep on making noises for a little bit, because he likes to just keep going. And once he starts, he tends to set himself off for some reason, which can be a little annoying, but I think he's cute. He was the main animal that I wanted to get, although I have to say the bantha was pretty cute too. But anyways, just going over some of the main experiences. My favorite thing was building a lightsaber, which I did. I ended up going with the elemental nature. There goes that Tauntaun again. He'll probably set himself off a little bit for a few more times. But I ended up going with the elemental nature lightsaber with green. But I did get my hands on a purple crystal and a red crystal as well. And my wife did, I think it was the Peace and Justice, the more like chrome, typical Jedi style lightsaber. And she got a blue crystal. Unfortunately, now Dok-Ondar's, to get crystals, they actually make you purchase the holocrons. So it's 1 crystal per holocron. So I actually think that's really dumb. And I hope they don't continue doing that because that's really cheap. People who went in the first couple months were just able to buy all the crystals they wanted. And then suddenly later people are stuck spending $50 extra per crystal basically because you have to get a holocron. So I have the 4 main colors now. I have purple, red, green, and blue between building the lightsabers and those. Thank you, Tauntaun. Eventually he'll stop. But I wasn't able to get my hands on a yellow or a white crystal, which I don't really care as much about, but I am seeing that those are a lot rarer. But yeah, I think that's kind of dumb. I did pick up a couple of legacy lightsabers from Dok-Ondar's. Unfortunately, my number 1 pick was not there. I wasn't able to get the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker lightsaber. That was the main one I wanted. They did not have it. I did get the Rey lightsaber, or as I like to refer to it, Anakin's lightsaber. And it's really cool. I do really like it. I also picked up one of the Darth Maul lightsabers, so you can look forward to reviews of both of those. And they didn't actually have a lot of the legacy lightsabers when I was there. They didn't have the Luke lightsaber. They did not have Obi-Wan's lightsaber, which is one of the ones I would have liked to have gotten. They did not have Ahsoka's. They did not have the Temple Guard. Let's see, I feel like there were a couple other ones that were missing. The main ones they had were the Rey lightsaber, which sold out after my first 2 days there. They had Vader, they had Maul, they had Ventress, and they had Mace Windu, which I kind of regret not picking up. Mace Windu's and possibly Vader's, but I ended up spending more money than I had planned just on being there. I did end up building an R2 droid, which I have right here. And then we ended up getting my stepson one. He wasn't on the trip with me and my wife. It was for our 4-year wedding anniversary. We ended up getting him one, and he also wanted an R2 droid. So we didn't build a BB-8 type droid. If I end up going again at some point, I'll probably do that next time. But unlike a lot of the YouTubers out there that seem to somehow be able to afford to go multiple times, maybe they live in the area, I probably won't be going again for quite a while, unfortunately. So I'll have to try to figure out how I'm going to get that Luke lightsaber. I do really want it, and maybe a few of the other ones. But those were cool and very high quality. I really like them. They did just recently, right before I went, raise the price on all of the legacy lightsabers. I don't know why they're doing that. I guess they've just realized they're a hot commodity, and so they're just raising the price because they're going to sell anyway, so why not make more money? Again, another not very cool move, but Galaxy's Edge is so cool. People are going to go, and it is not dead by any means. People, I don't know what the deal was last month or so with people saying it was dead, and maybe it was at the time, but it's not dead by any means. Wait times to get on Smuggler's Run were easily running probably 50 to 75 minutes on average. I ended up doing single rider the second time I went because my wife didn't want to go on it again. It is kind of a jerky ride, especially if the pilots don't know what they're doing. And I ended up doing being in the Han Solo left pilot position my first time doing it, and I did okay. I didn't crash into most things, but I did crash a few times. But the second time I went, I was the engineer, and that pilot was just terrible, did way worse than I did. So I felt pretty good about myself after that. But I did single rider and managed to get on the Millennium Falcon a second time in like 10 minutes. So if you want to go on it multiple times, that's really the way to do it. And I really liked it. The graphics are pretty darn good. They're definitely at least console quality. But while you're flying, you're not really paying attention to how well things look. So maybe if you want to take more of a look at the actual graphics, you don't want to be a pilot, because the pilot's the one who has to be most on, and then I'd say followed by the gunner having to pay the most attention. The engineer has to pay the least attention. It's mainly when the pilots have crashed into things, then buttons will come up, start flashing that you need to repair some systems, and then you just press the flashing buttons and then you're done. And then at one point you have to shoot a harpoon, and Hondo's in the background kind of narrating the thing. So he tells you when you're supposed to do something. He'll say, engineers, shoot the harpoon. So you do that. So if you want to actually pay attention to what's going on and not have to be just paying attention to what you're doing and actually more watch the experience, I'd say try to be an engineer, and then you don't have to be as paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing. But it was a cool ride, very reminiscent of Star Tours, but because it's more interactive, you're not going to notice as many little details. But I think it was a cool addition, and I'm looking forward to the Rise of the Resistance ride opening and seeing what that actually ends up being. Let's see. Oh, building a lightsaber. I feel like I just mentioned that as my favorite thing. But as the experience goes, it is a more personal experience than most things at Disneyland tend to be. And I mean, I had watched videos over what it was, but when you're building your own lightsaber and you get to choose the color, and you're seeing other people around you having fun, you just kind of get caught up in the spirit of it. Even if you've seen it, still having Yoda's voice come on after you've gone through that at the end is, sorry, spoiler alert, but I figure most of you that are interested already know that happens. It's one thing to watch it, it's another thing to be there and live it. It's just really cool, it's really personal, and it's a one-of-a-kind experience. Building a droid, I've kind of flip-flopped on my opinions of it a few times. I was looking forward to it, but then right after I did it, I kind of had a little bit of buyer's remorse, because I was like, well, it's kind of like a glorified RC car. But when you're carrying it around the park and you go near other vehicles or droids, they do talk to each other. It doesn't trigger right away and it's not consistent, but if you're standing there, all of a sudden your droid will start talking, and then the other droids will start talking, and that's kind of cool. Is it as worth it of an experience as the lightsabers? I'd say no. The lightsabers are really high quality. They have heft to them. And looking at video reviews of either the Legacy lightsabers or the Build Your Own lightsaber, I don't feel like it comes across the quality of them on video as much as it does in person. They are really nice looking in person, just kind of like on a Hot Toys review too. Sometimes on video they don't look as good as they do in person. Same thing with the lightsabers. With the droids, it's going to depend on the kind of person you are. At first I was like, that was a lot of money for what it actually does. But then later on, I'm like, I'm really glad I got this. It is really cool. It's a one-of-a-kind thing. So it'll depend. My opinion's kind of flip-flopped. At first I was like, kind of wish I hadn't spent that money. I could have gotten part of another Legacy lightsaber. But then I came around on it and I really liked it. And we ended up building a second one, a red and black R2 unit for my stepson, and he really loves that thing. He's been playing with it all morning today, so he really likes it. And overall, just my experience of Galaxy's Edge, overall, I just really enjoyed it. All the people working there are really nice. The food was surprising, and me and my wife are vegan, so we didn't try everything, but the blue and green milk, those are both vegan, so we could eat them. Like I said, I really like the blue milk. But then there were food items at Docking Bay 7 that we really liked as well. The main one that we had multiple times was the Athorian garden loaf, which we were like, wait, this isn't meat, right? Because it like tasted spot on like a meatloaf with mushroom mashed potatoes and veggies, and it just hit the spot. That was really good. And then there was another one, I think it was called the Felucian Garden Spread. It had some meatballs with a kind of pesto hummus and tomatoes and cucumber. And that one was really good as well. That one was only available at lunchtime, while the meatloaf was for dinner time. I like the meatloaf the best, but all of the food there that we could eat that we had was really good. And the drinks that we had at the Cantina were good. I'd just say, on a whole, that the whole experience at Galaxy's Edge was really great. We spent about a third of our time at Disneyland at Galaxy's Edge, and then the rest of the time divided between the rest of Disneyland and California Adventure. We had hopper passes, and it was just a great trip. I bought a lot of stuff. 2 Legacy lightsabers. We got 2 Build-A-Sabers. I got the Tauntaun, the 2 droids between me and my stepsons. I bought a Kylo Ren stuffed animal for my 5-year-old niece that I just gave it to her, and she was really excited to get. I found Han Solo's dice and ended up picking them up. I got a Millennium Falcon Galaxy's Edge hat. Of course, we have the pins that you get when you set up your appointment to build the lightsabers. I did get the black Jedi tunic. They didn't have my size in the regular Jedi tunic. Unfortunately, I did get a cool Jedi belt, which I actually really like. I got 1 belt clip for lightsabers, which works really well, although some of the lightsabers are pretty darn heavy. Let's see, what else did I get? And I got a brown Jedi robe. I really liked that. And probably a few other things that I'm not thinking of right now. Oh yeah, I got the Jedi and Sith holocrons. And I think that's about it when it comes to Galaxy's Edge. Maybe a few other things, but I'm going to do reviews on every single item. I also did just receive, well, actually on Monday while I was gone, the Return of the Jedi Hot Toys Stormtrooper. Unfortunately, one of my hands came broken, but I switched that out for one of the other ones. Still waiting to hear from Sideshow about replacing that. From what I hear, they're usually pretty good about that. But I actually really love it. It's my first Hot Toys Stormtrooper, and I really like it. I may end up jumping on a Scout Trooper or something like that. Or no, it's not the Scout. What is it called? The Patrol Trooper, the one from Han Solo. I may end up jumping on that. I wasn't thinking about it before, but this one's so cool. I want to get some more troopers. Anyways, this video actually ended up going quite a bit longer than I intended it to, but there's a lot to talk about. And there's a lot of other Galaxy's Edge reaction videos out there, but I just wanted to go over my own experiences, and you can expect reviews on all of this stuff coming up soon. I also, right before I left, did manage to get my hands on all 4 of the NECA 2-pack Target exclusive Ninja Turtles. Right after I said I couldn't find them, I found 3 of them at my local Target, and then I managed to pick up the 4th one through eBay. And then I also did receive my Super Fit Rogers Captain America workout hoodie, which I do want to do a review on as well. I might jump on those first before I run into Galaxy's Edge, just because there's so much Galaxy's Edge stuff, just to get them out of the way. And then I did also receive my Infinity War Doctor Strange. I had sold the original one and gotten the Infinity War one. I received that before I left for my trip, and I received my Iron Man Mark 50. So I'll probably do some spotlight review videos on those too, but man, I have a lot of stuff to cover. So based on all that, I have a lot of content coming up, a lot of Star Wars content, a little bit of Marvel, and then probably other stuff will end up popping up as well. So please tune back into Aaron Meets World. Please subscribe, hit the bell so you get some alerts if you haven't already done that. And please like this video. It does help me out. It helps me get more views. The more likes I get, the more YouTube sees that, oh, I should show this video to other people, and it helps me out. So I appreciate you watching this video, especially if you stuck around to the end. I'll probably throw in some clips random clips I took from Galaxy's Edge over this video. And thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time. All right, have a good night. Thank you.